The air crackled with anticipation. Millions around the world held their breath. Pope Francis, shepherd of the Catholic Church, was nearing the end of his earthly journey. His health had been declining. The world knew his time was short. Everyone waited, hearts heavy with both grief and hope. Would he offer any final words of guidance and comfort? The world yearned for his wisdom. His papacy had been one of radical empathy, of reaching out to the marginalized and forgotten. What final message would he leave for his flock? The anticipation was palpable, a testament to the profound impact of his papacy. Pope Francis carried the weight of the world on his shoulders. His papacy was marked by challenges both within the Church and in the world at large. Conflict, poverty, and climate change were just a few of the issues he confronted. Through it all, he remained a beacon of hope. His health deteriorated visibly over the preceding months. He was hospitalized several times, his frail frame a stark reminder of his mortality. Yet, even in weakness, his spirit remained strong. He continued to serve, to guide, to love, Rumors swirled through the Vatican and beyond. What would Pope Francis say? Some speculated he might address the ongoing synod, a global gathering of bishops discussing the future of the Church. Others believed he might offer a message of peace to a world teetering on the brink of chaos. Each day brought fresh speculation. Journalists camped outside the Vatican walls, eager for any scrap of news. The world held its breath, united in its concern for the ailing pontiff and its curiosity about his final pronouncements. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the man who would become Pope Francis, lived a life defined by humility and service. Born in Argentina, he chose the name Francis in honor of Saint Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of the poor and marginalized. He dedicated his life to serving the poor and oppressed. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he shunned the trappings of power, choosing to live simply and minister to those in need. His papacy was a continuation of this lifelong commitment to compassion and justice. Pope Francis's papacy was marked by a spirit of radical inclusion. He famously said, "Who are we to judge?" when asked about LGBTQ+ individuals. This simple question challenged the Church and the world to embrace compassion and understanding over judgment and exclusion. His words resonated far beyond the walls of the Vatican. They sparked dialogue, challenged prejudices, and offered hope to those who had felt marginalized by the Church. His message of inclusivity was a cornerstone of his papacy. Section 6. Echoes of Compassion. Throughout his papacy, Pope Francis emphasized the importance of compassion. He called on Catholics and people of all faiths to see the face of Christ in the poor, the sick, the imprisoned, and the stranger. He reminded the world that mercy and forgiveness are at the heart of the Christian message. He urged people to build bridges of understanding and break down walls of division. His message of compassion echoed through his words and actions. Section 7. A Legacy of Love. As the sun began to set on his papacy, Pope Francis's legacy was already being written. He would be remembered as a pope of the people, a champion of the poor and marginalized, and a voice for peace and reconciliation. He challenged the Church to be more welcoming, more compassionate, and more engaged with the world. He reminded the faithful that the gospel is a message of love, not judgment. Section 8. The Power of Words. The world waited with bated breath for Pope Francis's final words. They knew those words, whatever they might be, would carry immense weight. They would be analyzed, dissected, and debated for years to come. But perhaps some argued the true power of his message lay not in his final words, but in his life's work. His actions, his example of humility and compassion spoke volumes. Section 9. Go forth in peace. In the end, Pope Francis's final words were not recorded for posterity. The details of his passing remain shrouded in a certain reverent mystery. However, the message he embodied throughout his papacy continues to resonate. Pope Francis lived a life that exemplified the teachings of Jesus Christ. He challenged us to love unconditionally, to forgive freely, and to build a more just and compassionate world. That, ultimately, is the legacy he leaves behind. Go forth in peace.